When I first launched one of my golf towels, I was really pressed for time. What I ended up doing is
This is really important because if we overstuff the target, it doesn't perform as well. So maximum always to start with.
All right, welcome to our podcast today with Farida and myself. We're going to be breaking down the perfect sponsored products campaign together with our knowledge and our expertise. We're really going to be discussing this craft, this recipe to create this sponsored products campaign, and I think it's going to be a very engaging conversation today. So if you're an advertiser tuning into our channel, I think you're in the perfect place to take some key components away for your sponsored products campaign. My name is Josh Elwood. I'm the content creator behind Debt to Dollars and the founder of Product Expert and FBA Mentoring. And by my side is Farida. Farida, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Farida Bayoumi. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller. I also own an agency called Brand House. And yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Good to have you too.
So I think the first thing I just want to talk about is, why sponsored products actually matters. And to me, it really matters because it's the point at which a buyer is, mainly the ready to shop buyers, are right at the forefront of our products. And it gives us an opportunity to put our listing in front of those buyers to really enable our products to increase in conversions.
Yes.
What does it mean to you?
No,
Why does it matter
I
to you?
completely agree. Sponsored products is great because you're able to put your product in front of buyers that are literally searching to buy your product.
Yeah.
And it's great because it also helps with organic rankings. So
That's a good point.
you run the ads, you get the sales, and then you can also increase your organic rankings and your organic sales as well. So sponsored products is very important. So let's get into the perfect sponsored products campaigns. I'm sure every seller is always working towards figuring out how to make their sponsored products campaigns efficient and more profitable. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, I think the perfect sponsored products campaign to me is it's a balance of efficiency as well as profitability, right? I mean, this is an ad product that people tend to use for conversions and to really scale their products to the maximum level that they can. This isn't a campaign that you're just going to create one day and then a week later or even days later, it's going to perform just to your expectations and exceed your goals. This is something that is going to take time. It's not something that typically has overnight success. So
For sure.
I'd want to stress that is perfect campaign isn't something you can just create, right? And it's going to happen. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, definitely you have to work towards finding that perfect sponsored products campaigns, keep optimizing, and be patient with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're discussing right now about, what this campaign is, what this perfect sponsored products campaign is. What is a way that you can structure this? What's a 4-step structure that you could apply and our users and our viewers could take a look at?
Yeah, so we're always launching new styles with our sunglasses business. So the first step is always to start with an auto campaign. And this is really important because with auto campaigns, we find search terms and we find ASINs to target that are very similar to our product. Although sunglasses are sunglasses, but when you launch new styles, the shapes are different, the colors are different. So we do still run the auto campaigns. And then step number 2 is we run the search term reports. We take out of that the search terms that are most profitable and the ASINs as well. Product targeting works really well for us. And we take those and we run exact campaigns. So running 2 ad groups, so keywords and ASINs. And these are the manual campaigns that we would set up. And with the exact match targets, we do dynamic bids down only. So we do bid adjustments. Top of search is really important, and we do around 50% for that. And for product pages, 25%. And we always keep in mind to have a maximum of 25 targets, so either 25 keywords or 25 ASINs per ad campaign. And we even do less than that. Like we'll maybe do 5 or 6 because we need to let the campaign breathe. I feel if we overstuff the targets in each campaign, then it doesn't perform as well. So maximum, in my opinion, even 5 or 6 for each campaign.
Awesome. When it comes back to these ad products, when I first started out 7 years ago, I thought that you had to just use an auto campaign or you just had to use a manual targeted campaign. I wasn't aware of the strategy that you could apply both almost at the same time, where you could use auto sponsored products campaigns to discover new keywords and then take those into a manual targeted campaign and then be able to really refine your campaign and how it performs over time.
Yeah, and we
Love
also
that.
we keep our auto campaigns running, honestly. Like we don't even once we move on to the next step, we don't stop the auto campaigns because there's always new products that are launching in the sunglasses
point.
space. So when there are new launches that are very close to us and the competitors are putting huge budgets around these new products to do sponsored products and ads, we like to kind of piggyback off of that. So we always run the auto campaigns to find those products to target. Yeah.
Very cool.
So, Josh, can you tell me your take on the catch them all strategy? What is your definition of that? What does it mean to you? And how would you apply it to your own business?
Yes, this is a newer strategy, even though I've been implementing it into my business and my golf products with Be Very Golf. I've been using it in the past, but I never gave it a term. And I think this is the term. To me, the catch them all strategy is when you're looking to discover new keywords while simultaneously looking to convert existing keyword phrases, things that are working very well for your business. It brings an idea in my mind. When I first launched one of my golf towels, I think it was spring of 2023, I was really pressed for time.
Yes.
I had about a week, once my products arrived at Amazon, I had about a week before peak golf season happened.
Yes.
And I didn't have the luxury to run an auto campaign for a couple weeks, gain a targeted list, and then go ahead and create that manual targeted campaign to really get refined and to figure out what's going to be best for this peak sales season. So what I ended up doing is I applied this catch them all strategy. I created an auto campaign that was discovering new keyword phrases, and then I would take those keyword phrases after looking through some reports and put them into a manual targeted campaign, all within that 1 to 2 week time frame. So as you can imagine, it was quite stressful, but it
paid up.
It's a very interesting strategy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so we're talking about strategy, we talked about structure. Let's go ahead and talk about bidding tips.
Okay.
Do you have any bidding tips that you recommend for sponsored products campaigns?
Yeah, so we do bid adjustments, like we do some adjustments every day and then we do some adjustments every week. So it really depends. I would say the more granular stuff we could do every day. So for example, keywords, ASINs, adjusting the bids for those. Anything that's very profitable, we would increase the bid for that. Anything that's not so profitable, we would decrease the bid or maybe even pause it altogether. I wouldn't pause the campaign, but I would pause the keywords or the ASINs, the targets themselves. And then for weekly adjustments, we do the more high level stuff. So for example, daily budgets, we would increase that, looking at the ACOS and the TACOS, and then making decisions like pausing or canceling. We always do this on a weekly basis and we look at the past week and how that performed and make decisions based off of that. So we don't do everything on the day-to-day. We have to kind of break it up so that we're efficient.
So do you, in a previous podcast, when I was speaking with Gavin, as you know, we talked about how relevant keywords are typically more valuable than ones that were just higher volume or lower competition. Do you ever adjust your bidding tips based on, oh, this keyword phrase is identical to the target audience that would be typing it in?
For sure, and with sunglasses, this is really relevant because it's really all about the shape and the color. So if we're selling a cat's eye style that is black, for example, a keyword or a search term like cat's eye black sunglasses is super relevant to us. So even if it has a lower search volume, for us that might convert a lot better than something with a really high search volume, but not as detailed as that search term.
That's a really good point. Also, cool how you tied it back to your sunglasses, your brand.
Yeah, so Josh, tell me about what key reports are important to you, what metrics you would look at to optimize your campaigns.
Yes, there's quite a few. I'm going to start out with the reports and talk about some metrics. But for me, I personally, I love the search term and the search placement or the placement report. I think those two reports allow me to really see inside all of my campaigns, if I have multiple running, what's really going on. Ideally, when I use the search term report, I'm pulling a lot of my broad and phrase match type keywords. I'm taking a particular attention to them and then look at the column where it says search term. So that's actually what the customer's typing in. And more times than not, I end up seeing that, a lot of customers, even though I'm targeting this broad keyword phrase, a lot of customers are typing in this. For example, funny golf towel. And it might be a new keyword that I can add to my next campaign or add to my existing campaign. So I really love that one. The placement report, which I know you talked about, with top of search, you adjust that to 50%. That's very important to see. Also, we obviously know that the top of search is going to produce a very high conversion rate compared to others. But it is also important to understand what other parts of the search page you're ranking on and you're showing. Are you actually still converting sales? And sometimes, very seldomly with students I teach, middle of the page or the bottom of the page, there are other placements that
Yes.
you may see higher conversions.
Yes.
So it's worth like at least getting an idea of what's going on there. And as far as metrics, I think ACoS is a very important one for efficiency to understand how efficient you are with your ad spend. But I like to take a look at TACoS, your total advertising cost of sales, more so I can see the bigger story. I have a lot of organic sales coming in for some of my golf products. If I have a high ACoS with an advertising campaign, that doesn't ultimately mean that I'm not hitting my goals or performing well. By taking a look at your total ACoS, you can see how organic sales are also playing a key factor in the overall picture.
No, I completely agree. ACoS and TACoS is very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think we could talk about a lot of different ones, but the other two kind of on top of my mind would be your click-through rate. That tells you how efficient and attractive your ad is. And conversion rate, ultimately that's a big reason why I use sponsored products. You can create this perfect sponsored products campaign is to maximize profitability and to maximize the number of conversions.
Yeah, so if, for example, a campaign has a low click-through rate, what type of adjustment would you do to that campaign? Would you say, okay, maybe my image needs adjustment, or?
That's a really good question, and it's something I battle a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different with some other ad products, but with sponsored products in particular, sometimes it comes back to the main image. Your main image may not be as attractive as your competitors, so it may be worth thinking, how can I improve this? How can I make it better quality or show to the customer a unique advantage of my product compared to others?
Yes.
That's usually what a lower CTR would tell me. Or it could be, I'm just targeting the wrong audience, or I'm targeting the wrong keywords or targets.
Yes.
I'm on the wrong product detail pages.
Yes.
It's a lot that goes into it, but that is like a very key player of a key metric that you can understand how effective your ad is.
Yeah, and something for me as well that I would say don't sleep on this is day parting. So we really like to pay attention to when we get the most sales, and we noticed that we were in Eastern timing, but we noticed that we were getting most of our sales at night. It was actually overnight for us. So we decided to increase our budget for a very profitable campaign, but we did day parting so that we're spending most of our budget during those hours where we were getting most of the sales, and that helped us allocate our budget way better.
So Farida, sunglasses, that's where your brand's in. That is like a more seasonal product, right?
It is, yes.
So what do you do in your business to prepare for those seasonal periods?
Yeah.
Mind sharing some information on that?
Yeah, so we always launch new styles around the summertime since, sunglasses, it's a given that this is our busiest time in terms of sales. So we make sure to launch maybe a month or two ahead of time, start running campaigns, collecting data for the new sunglasses, and also for our bestsellers as well. We increase our budgets for sure in the summertime because naturally a lot more search volume for sunglasses during the summertime. And it would also go the same for, even though it's not really a popular time for sunglasses, but Christmas, Black Friday, we apply the same strategy for then, just to prepare and to know what are good search terms and what are good ASINs. And then so that when that time comes, we're able to, allocate budgets correctly to the profitable keywords and ASINs. Yeah. What about you?
Good points. Yeah, very similar story. So with golf products, we do have a seasonal period, and similar ideas. You must have your stock prepared at least 1 to 2 months. There's no issue with creating your sponsored products campaign in advance and then setting your start date later on, or just letting it go when you feel necessary. So I think those are all two very important things.
What about competitors in the golf product space? Is it a very competitive space? Do you always look at your competitors for new products that they're launching? How would you do that research?
Yeah, I think regardless of what e-commerce product you're selling, competition's always, you want to be the forefront of it. You want to know what the next brand name, what they're going to be bringing to the market.
Yes.
For me, I love to use the sponsored products campaign and target competitor ASINs.
Okay.
I found a much better results in terms of conversion rate, especially when I'm priced below my competitors.
Yes.
By targeting those larger brand names than mine, and I can kind of piggyback, if you will, off of their success and provide, in my mind, a better product at a more reasonable cost.
Yeah. No, definitely. Same thing for sunglasses. The manufacturers or other sellers are always launching new styles. It's very popular. So we always research the new styles that they're launching. We need to target the ASINs or the styles that are very similar to the styles that we have. And one thing that we look at with competitor research when we're targeting ASINs is to make sure we're targeting an ASIN that has a similar review count to us, maybe either lower ratings or a lower review count, just so that you're confident that if someone was to visit that product and see yours, that they would want to click on yours instead. So reviews and ratings have a lot to do with that, and also price points as well.
Yeah, I like that with the reviews, because if you're going up against a much larger brand name with thousands of reviews, tens of thousands,
that's a tough one.
They have a lot of credibility, right?
Yes.
Especially if they have a high rank or high rating score.
Yes.
So that's a good point to target the right audience, the right competitors.
Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps us up here today, at least for our conversation. I really enjoyed our conversation today, crafting this perfect sponsored products campaign, and what we can do to just take it one step further. Do you have any takeaways you want to share with our audience before closing out?
Yeah, I mean, main key takeaway is looking at the search term reports for sure, and your points about the click-through rate were very interesting, because there's so much that goes into what would give you a lower click-through rate. So, taking a look at not just your images, but also the search terms, and making sure that you're placed correctly with your ads, and making sure that the products that are around that search term look like yours or is exactly what the customer would be searching to buy is very important. So, yeah, what about you?
Awesome. Yeah, day parting is one thing I wanted to say, and I encourage our audience who listen today is go to your sponsored products campaign or create a new sponsored products campaign and take something away from our conversation today, whether that's day parting and realizing that certain time periods your ads are performing better compared to other time periods. That's something you could take away, or even something as simple as going to our search term report and taking a deeper dive look at that data and can paint a bigger story and paint a picture of what's really going on. So thank you for everyone for tuning in today. We encourage you to subscribe to our channels and stay tuned for some more content to come with Amazon Ads.